What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team FISHKNUCKLES YouTube channel. Today is the main deck Monday, and yesterday was the World Championship Finals. And we know if you watched the video earlier, you saw that Garbodor GX won the whole tournament, but second place was a very interesting deck, and I'd rather cover that deck today than Garbodor GX, because we covered that one last week, and it's a little bit different. Don't get me wrong, I played Octillery and stuff like that. It's still fantastic. Congratulations. But today we're going to cover the Golisopod Garbodor deck that did get second place, because this deck is very interesting. I know we covered Golisopod before, but we covered Golisopod Zoroark, and this is totally different. Like, it's weird to think that like one Pokemon changes everything, but I'm in love with this list, and I love when Japanese players have these very interesting lists, and it's like almost roguish, like, but it has like two of like the attackers that were so useful, which is like Golisopod and Garbodor. We just really haven't seen them partnered up together. So our attacker today is going to be Golisopod-GX 210 HP, and it has the attack first impression. When it comes for your bench to your active, you do 90 more damage, so 120. With a choice band, you do 150, and then, set up some knockouts that way. You have Armor Press 100, you take 20 less damage, and Crossing Cut GX for 150. Switch this when you're benched Pokemon. You also have 4 Wimpod, and Wimpod has that Wimpod ability during your first turn. This Pokemon has no retreat cost, which is really cool, because you can retreat turn 1 into a Tapu Koko with that free retreat, which is really, really nice. It does have Flying Flip, which does 20 damage to all your opponent's Pokemon. You play 2 Lele, of course, Water Tag, best ability in the game, and a 4/2/2 Garbodor slip. 2 Garbotoxin Garbodor. There's a ton of abilities in the game right now, and Garbotoxin still is a super powerful card that you should definitely be playing if you're playing Garbodor. And 2 of the Trash Lance. We know that Trash Lance is one of the best cards in the game right now. It was in 6 of the top 8 spots in the World Championship. So Garbodor proving that it's probably the strongest Pokemon in the game right now. And so you have to play those as well. Alright, so that's going to be all the Pokemon that he played. 1 Field Blower to get rid of tools. 1 Heavy Ball, which can get you the Wimpod. It can get you Golisopod. It can get you, I think it's just those. Oh, and then both the Garbodors. So it's a really, really good card. It gets you 4 out of your Pokemon. So that's pretty amazing. But he only plays 1. So remember that. Only 1 Heavy Ball, so make it count. 2 Stretcher to shove your Pokemon back into your deck. 4 Ultra Ball, and 4 via Seeker. Now, 2 Acerola, and this is how we're really going to, like, negate people knocking our Golisopod. Acerola, put one of your Pokemon that has any damage counters on it and all cards attached to it into your hand. So basically, you kind of just like cycle through Golisopods. You pick up a Golisopod, send him a Koko, put another Golisopod on a Wimpod, send it back up, and you just keep the cycle over and over again, making where your Golisopod can never get knocked out, and you can keep first impression for a ton of damage. 1 Brigette, because turn 1 you need that Brigette to find multiple Wimpods and a Trubbish. 2 Guzma, once again, this is how we're going to activate our first impression Golisopod. And 1 Hex Maniac. Even though we have the Garbodor Garbotoxin, we still need Hex Maniac shutdown abilities just in case something crazy does happen. 3 in, 4 Sycamore, and 1 Teammates to search for any 2 cards out of your deck, which is really nice if they take a knockout, because you can Teammates like a Float Stone Energy and start attacking. 2 Choice Pen to do that additional 30 damage to EX and GX Pokemon, mainly for that Crossing Cut GX, so you can do 180 damage and take knockouts that way. 4 Float Stone to get free retreat to your Pokemon, and the big one is to activate that Garbotoxin, because you do need a tool card attached to it. Now, the interesting thing about his list is going to be the energy line. We see 3 DCE, 3 Grass, and 4 Rainbow Energy. Now, this deck will struggle against special energy decks. It's struggling against like Drampa, it's struggling against like Team Flare Gun, Enhanced Hammer, Crushing Hammer, I can't remember that card called. It's like the new supporter card that could I don't know what it's called. We're gonna find out real quick, because this is gonna bother me if I can't. Is it a full art? It is a full art. This card right here, Plumeria. There we go, Plumeria. Oh man. Discard 2 cards from your hand and discard 1 energy off your Pokemon. So they have that. They have Team Flare Guard, Enhanced Hammer, Drampa, and anything that gets special energy down you're going to be in trouble for sure, because you only play 3 of the basic Grass Energies and no special charge to get these back. But you know what? Naoto was saying, whatever, I'm going to come in here, I'm going to play against all these Pokemon, and I'm going to win the game. And Naoto, he was so close, got 2nd place. But man, that final match was amazing against Diago. It was just really cool and really interesting to see how the Garbodor GX deck and the Golisopod GX deck work to get well against each other. I'm excited that both these players did make finals as well, proving how strong Burning Shadows is, and that we're slowly moving into a GX game instead of an EX game. But guys, hope you enjoyed this video. thanks for watching. We do have 3 games. There are 3 very interesting games for sure. That's all I can really say. And you'll see what I'm talking about here today. But guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Alrighty, bye. Alright, so putting against Prochozo, looks like they're playing a Greninja deck, I'm hoping. That'd be really cool. Because I think Golisopod has a very good matchup against Greninja, because you have, like, the Garbodor to shut down, like, the Greninja break. We hit for weakness. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. Now, if it's Alolan Ninetales, I don't know how the matchup goes. Alright, so they're choosing who goes first. Of course, they're going to go first. Why would they not want to go first? Alright, so we start Wimpod. Alright, so press done. Okay. So what do we start here? So go to Mulligan, okay. We're going to see Mulligan a couple times, and hopefully we get, hopefully find a Lele to get the Brigette. And then I'll be feeling pretty good to go. So let's see. Because if we Brigette, we got the Koko, we can treat the Koko, get a Wimpod out, get like a Trubbish out, and that's what we really need. Okay, so let's see. Mulligan number 1. Oh baby, oh baby. Looks like it's just 1 Mulligan, unfortunately. So we get 1 card. Hopefully we find an Ultra Ball. So 1 Pokemon going to the X spot, okay. And yes, we'll draw from Mulligan. There's a Sycamore. And a Talonflame start. Oh boy. Alright, so Talonflame's still not too scary. It has 130 HP. So actually Golisopod cannot take a knock on it. It only does 120. There's a Froakie going to his hand, and that Arrow Blitz will allow him to search for any 2 cards. And our hand is very interesting right now. So Water Gym the active. Sycamore, go and discard the hand, drawing 7 new cards. Discard a Greninja Break and a Brock's Grit. Okay. There's another Die Ball for a Froakie. Alrighty. But can we top deck an Ultra Ball? That is what we really... If we top deck an Ultra Ball, we're good to go. If we top deck Lele, we're good to go. There's a Tapu Fini coming to his hand. Ooh. Oh, put that card down. Let's see. Aquaring 20, Hydro Shot, and Tapu Storm. Alright, and there's a Hex Maniac. That's not a card I really want to see right there. But what I'm going to do is put a Float Stone on the active, put down a Rainbow Energy, and I'm just going to Sycamore. Just discard our hand, drawing 7 new cards, just trying to set up and find some more Pokemon. And we find a Trubbish, we find a Lele, but outside of that, we really don't find too much. But what I'm going to do right now is retreat into Trubbish and just pass. Because what we can do next turn is put down Golisopod and Guzma somebody up and take a knockout that way. Okay, yeah, I think that's fine. There's a Frogadier coming down. So we'll see a treat to Frogadier and probably see a Water Duplicates. But we do have the turn to attack right now. There's a Water G on the Frogadier. Okay. Going into the Frogadier. And we're going to see a Water Duplicates get out some multiple Pokemon here. Okay. But like I said, we do have the Guzma. We can bring up one of the Frogadiers. There's 1, 2. And he did prize 1 Frogadier. Alright, so there's a Garbodor. But we don't have a tool right now is the only unfortunate part. But we'll put down the Golisopod. We will use the boy Guzma. Bring up a Frogadier. Send up our Golisopod. Let's see. He has 1, 2, 3. So we're doing 60 right now. I think right now I'm just going to use First Impression for 120, 240 because of weakness. So we'll go down to 5 prize cards. We find a Garbodor. Okay, another Trash Lunch Garbodor going in our hand. And... I mean, we could have used in that turn and have found, like, maybe more Wimpods, stuff like that. But I didn't want to, like, whiff a Float Stone or anything crazy like that. So there's an Ultra Ball. Going to discard 2 cards from his hand. Discards an N and the N. So 2, 3, 4. So you would do 80. There's a Greninja. Still not enough for a Garbodor knockout, but he's slowly putting more trainer cards in the discard pile. So there's a Greninja coming down, okay. There's an Ace Trainer, so he's gonna put down his 3, which that's fine. I think it's perfectly fine here. I kind of want a new hand regardless, and let's see what do we find. We find a Wimpod, a Sycamore, and a Garbodor. This is actually a pretty good hand now all of a sudden. Because if we find a DCE, we could go for a Crossing Cut GX. There's a Water Gym on the active. We might see a Tapu Storm here. It's not a bad idea to shuffle the Golisopod back into the deck. And yeah, we're going to see Tapu Storm. Gonna shuffle the Golisopod, all cards to it, back into our deck. But what he doesn't know is we got a Rainbow Energy top deck as well. Well, might as well swing, right? So put a Rainbow Energy in the active, put down the Garbodor, put down the Wimpod, and we are just going to Sycamore, discard our hand, draw 7 new cards. Can we find more Wimpods? And we don't find a Wimpod, unfortunately. Put Put a Float Stone on the active. Yeah, and right now we will just trash lunch. What's his retreat cost? 1 retreat cost. Okay, there's 80. He can take a knockout this turn if he finds a Greninja break and an energy. There's a Silent Lab coming down. I don't really care about that too much. Does he have a Greninja break and 2 water energy? So there's a splashing going to the Greninja. Okay. There's a Wally into the Greninja break. Does he have another water energy in his hand? Yeah, so there's a Greninja break coming down. Okay. And let's see what else does our opponent. So he's going to treat into the Greninja. Does he have the water energy? If he does, he will take a knockout this turn. And yeah, there's a giant water string, so he will take a knockout this turn, going down to 5 prize cards. We do luckily have the Golisopod in our deck, in our hand, but we're not going to be really able to do anything. So there's the Moonlight Slash. Okay. Now, no, it's not going to work. I was trying to think of a way how we could take a knockout this turn. I don't think we actually can. Alright, so he's going to go down 5 prize cards. We'll send up the Wimpod and on to our turn. What do we find here? Hopefully, there's an Ultra Ball. Alright, so we'll Ultra Ball. I'm going to discard it in a Garbodor. I know there's another Garbodor in our deck. So I'm going to grab a Trubbish. Okay. So put the Trubbish down. I really wanted to grab a Tapu Lele, but we'll grab a Trubbish, put that down, put the Float Stone, put down a Golisopod-GX. And I think I'm going to VS Seeker for an N. We could put a DC on the active, but what I'm scared is a Jirachi. But I think I'm going to put the DC on the active just so we don't draw into it. And I think I'm just going to Sycamore here. He only has 4 cards at hand, so I'm just going to go for Sycamore and draw more cards instead of playing it in. Alright, so there's a Stretcher and Steel. Alright, so we have a Heavy Ball. With the Heavy Ball, we can luckily find a Wimpod. We could put that guy down, which is pretty nice. So put down the Wimpod. And right now, we're just going to pass on to our opponent's turn. Okay, so next turn, what he can do is maybe go for Shadow Stitching or something, do something crazy. Or E-Hammer. Okay, but, so the Giant Water Stricken, where does this damage go? Does it go on the Wimpod or the Trubbish? And he's going to put on the active. He cannot really take a knockout here unless I'm crazy. Maybe he can. Pretty cool to see. So go send the Talonflame, and instead we are going to see an Aero Blitz for 40 to put 2 cards in his hand. Alrighty, so what we can do this turn is Acerola, pick up the Golisopod, send up the Trubbish, put a Golisopod back down, put a Grass Energy on, and just swing. Oh boy. Luckily, he does have the Tapu Fini on the bench, so we can use that later on. So on our turn, we get a Wimpod. So put down a Wimpod. We'll Acerola, pick up the active Golisopod, send in the Trubbish, put down a Wimpod, put down a Golisopod, put a Grass Energy on it, retreat, and go for a first Oppression for 120 damage. Still not taking a knockout, but I don't think he can really knock us out. So let's see, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. He only do 170 max, so there's another Greninja coming down, okay. Alright, so there's a Team Flare Gun. I'm going to discard a Grass Energy off the active. And this is one of the downsides of the deck. Because remember, we only play 3 Grass Energies and 4 Rainbows. So we can easily run out of energy cards. And there's a VS Seeker. And let's see what he decides to get here. Going to grab another Ace Trainer for next turn. But that is another Trainer card in his discard pile. He has 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And there we see him swing. Which does set him another can set up a knockout with his with the double Greninja break attacking stuff. So, on our turn, what do we find? We find it Rainbow Energy. Okay. So, I think what I'm going to do is put a Float Stone on the active. Put a Rainbow Energy on this guy. Use the Field Blower to get rid of the Silent Lab. And that's all we can really get. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of the Silent Lab. I'm going to put a Choice Band on a Bench Wimpod. And I'm going to Lele or a Sycamore. Just discard in our hand, drawing 7 new cards. Okay, luckily we did have the Sycamore in there. I was kind of nervous, so we had them all gone already. So grab Sycamore. We'll play the Sycamore. We need to find a Golisopod with this, and we don't find one. Oh my goodness. Now this is terrible, because what can happen is he could take a knockout here on our bench Wimpod that has the Rainbow Energy attached to it. So put down a Trubbish, and I'm going to treat into the Wimpod with the... It's actually not a good idea either way I go. I just can't believe we whiffed an Ultra Ball. We whiffed a... Maybe we have multiple Golisopod prize or something. But I think the smart decision is to send up the Wimpod and just pass here. Yeah, that's very unfortunate there. Oh boy. Alright, so on my opponent's turn, does he have multiple Greninja breaks? If he gets 2 Greninja breaks, he can maybe knock out a Trubbish with a Float Stone on it. Okay. Man, that's unfortunate there. So I mean, we only have one Golisopod in the deck, realistically, right? Okay. Another choice band going to the bench Greninja break, okay. There's a Water Energy going to the bench Greninja break. And I wonder how he's going to play out this turn. Does he attack the Wimpod? Does he maybe use the Shadow Stitching? That could be a thing he could do. Oh, baby. Alright, so, no, just going to put Air Blitz for 40. Alrighty. So he's going to put 2 more cards in his deck, or in his hand. And once again, he's going to set up where he can take a knockout with one of these Greninjas. But what I think I'm going to do right now is via Seeker for N. And just kind of disrupt him a little bit more. So on our turn, we'll get a Tapu Koko, alright. So I'm going to Float Stone the other Trubbish and just via Seeker for a N. We could go for Guzma, but it doesn't really get us anything. So yeah, N is definitely probably the best play here. Yeah, so we'll play N. Alright, so we'll get 5. He gets 5 as well. We find a Rainbow Energy Ultra Ball. Alright, so what I'm going to do right now is actually just pass, which seems very weird. But what I plan on doing is if he swings this turn, he can take a knockout, okay? We can then set up a Trubbish. Okay, so there's a Greninja break coming up. And let's see what kind of hand does he have here. Alright, so there's Silent Lab coming down to the field. There's a giant Water Shuriken. He can hit the bench Wimpod for 60. And he's going to take a double knockout here, going down to 3. Alright, so there we see it to knockout, okay. He can then swing. He actually just used a 60 and take a knockout. There's a Froakie coming down, okay. There's a Hex Maniac, okay. And we will see a knockout, but what we can do this turn is actually just going to pass here. I feel like that might have been a mistake. Okay, so we'll via Seeker for a Guzma. I'm going to Guzma. Maybe he didn't want to attack us because he didn't want us to attack this turn. So we'll send it the Golisopod. We'll put a Rainbow Energy on it. I'm going to Ultra Ball, discard the Brigette and Garbodor to grab a Garbotoxin Garbodor, okay. Put that down. And we are going to take a knockout while turning off the abilities. So I think that's the best play here for sure. So yeah, well, first impression for the knockout, doing 240 damage and going down to 3 prize cards. We also turn off... Oh, we don't go down to 3. We go down to 4. Sorry, he's not an EX Pokemon. Alright, so we do see the Greninja break coming up and onto our opponent's turn. But we also drew into the Rescue Stretcher, which is fantastic because we can use that to put Pokemon back in our deck. So they receive a Dive Ball, and I really do think that he just passed. Like, he did not want to take a knock on a Wimpod and just kept it there. So we see a Greninja coming down, okay. I mean, Frogadier coming down, okay. We see a Water Energy Frogadier. Will we see a Water Duplicate this turn? Very interesting if he goes for that. No, going to send the Talonflame instead and go for the Aero Blitz for 40 damage. Alright, so he's going to put 2 more cards in his hand. We do have an N to get around that. We have 3 via Seekers in the discard pile, which is all... no, he plays 4 via Seeker. Alright, so let's see. What does he do here? I mean, either way, we're going to Stretcher. It puts Pokemon back in our deck. And going to play it in, because you got it... Ooh, we drew into a DC as well, which means we can go for a Crossing Cut GX attack. Or we can go for... a Armor Press for 100. Which doesn't seem too bad either. So I'm going to put a DC in the active. I am going to Rescue Stretcher to shuffle 3 Pokemon from discard pile back in our deck. I am going to grab a Garbodor, and a Golisopod. I want to... How many rainbows do we have in here? We have 2 rainbows and 1 on the active. I think that's still fine. I want to put these 3 in my deck, and then I'm going to play an in. Alright, so we got rid of what's probably a Field Blower in this deck, and there we see a Garbodor coming to our hand. I don't know if the other rainbows in our deck, though. That's what I'm only scared about. We'll put down a Garbodor. I think it's fine. Put down the trash lines. We only need the one Garbotoxin. And right now, we'll use an Armor Press for 100 damage. Take a knockout, going down to 3 prize cards. Alright, so there's a Wimpod. Okay, because he can swing right now, but he really can't do 120. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You do 100 damage. He'll need a Field Blower. Oh boy, there's Field Blower. Okay, so there's a Field Blower. Oh boy. Alright, this is what dreams are made of. Does he take a knockout here? If he does not, we're going to be looking good to go. So, double Float Stone being gone off those two, okay. And there's an Ace Trainer. Alright, does he find a Choice Band plus Water Energy? If he does, he'll be able to take a knockout this turn. So we get a... oh, and there's an Acerola in our hand. There's another Greninja coming down. Okay, this is going to be a big turn. Does he have... there's a Shadow Stitching. No, just go for Shadow Stitching for 20 damage. Alright, so we're looking good here. We can Acerola, pick up the Golisopod, put it back into our hand, send up the Garbodor. Alright, this is one of the great things with the Golisopod. We'll put down the Wimpod. And there's a victory. And what I would have done is put down the Golisopod, put a Rainbow Energy, and put a Choice Band on that Garbodor just to shut down his abilities one more time. And there we go. That was a little rough matchup. I'm not going to lie to you, but you kind of see how you could take down these Greninja Breaks decks and how good this Golisopod Garbodor deck actually is. It is very interesting because he does play the full Rainbow with 3 Grass Energies, so you have to be very, very careful. But thanks to Acerola, you can kind of reuse your Rainbow Energies over and over again. But we'll see another game with the Golisopod Garbodor deck here in a second. Hopefully it's a little bit of a better game for us because that was kind of rough there. Alright guys, so we're playing as Most Williams, playing a Psychic and a Colorless deck, and let's see what is going to happen here. So Psychic and Colors, I am not sure, but we won the coin flip, which is great. Yes, we will go first. And on to our turn, we need to start that Brigette. Oh, we don't start Brigette again. Man, alright, so no Ultra Ball, no Lele. Yeah, so it looks like we have to end here, and hopefully we don't play against something that can go crazy and knock us out. Now, this might be a Drampa Garbodor deck, which is probably one of the biggest decks at the World Championship. It was definitely everywhere. So we'll send up Trubbish, and they're gonna select their starter Pokemon. Okay, so let's see what is going to happen. What does Most William have for us? I mean, right now it looks like we're just playing in, and just hope we draw into some good stuff because it's not looking good for us. So press done, okay. And let's say, come on, Brigette, top deck, give me something. And there's a Float Stone. Alright, so Float Stone the active and play an in. So we're both going to get 60 cards. And what do we find? Oh boy. Alright, so I'm going to Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball, discard the Sycamore and the Garbodor. We're going to grab a Wimpod. Oh, Brigette wasn't even in the deck. Great, didn't even matter. Alright, so grab Wimpod. We'll put that down. We'll put a DC on it and just pass on to our opponent's turn. Yep, that's fine. We'll just pass right now. Really don't want to put that in Choice Band. He can Field Blower, get rid of it. Float Stone on the active is fine. We play 4 of those, so that's okay. But if we find a Grass Energy, Rainbow Energy, and a Golisopod, we can take a knockout next turn on this Trubbish by using First Impression. So there's a Drampa GX coming down, Float Stone to the active, and this is what I'm kind of scared of, because with that Drampa, he does have the Righteous Edge, which can get rid of our energies, but we can take a turn 2 knockout on this Drampa, but not with this hand, we cannot. Okay. Alright, so Big Will GX going to shuffle cards into his deck and find 10 new cards. I mean, if we find a Choice Band, Golisopod, Grass Energy, and there's a VS Seeker saving us right now. So, we'll put it on the Garbodor, and we're going to VS Seeker for an N. If we get somehow... do we go crazy? No, we have to play in here. There's no way we can go for what I want to do. I really wanted to, like, Sycamore, try to hit Golisopod, Choice Band... and, oh no! If we were to attach that Choice Band, we would have taken a knockout right here, but unfortunately we did not find that. So put down the Trubbish, we'll put down the Golisopod, and all we missed was the Choice Band. So put a Rainbow Energy, and this is what I'm scared of, because he's going to swing, and yeah, that's a problem here. So what I'm kind of tempting to do is to Crossing Cut, but I really want to save this to knock out a Drampa. So right now I'm just going to... I really don't want a First Impression at all, because he's just going to Righteous Edge, discard energy. But yeah, I think we're just gonna first impression here for 120. Missing the choice band. If we put the choice band on earlier, we would have taken a knockout. But he plays so few choice bands that don't really want to commit that. So there's an Eevee coming down. That's very interesting. Another Eevee coming down as well. And okay, another Trubbish coming down. There's a choice band to the active. Psychic to the bench. So he's playing both Espeon and the Drampa. And what I'm scared about is, does he play Flareon? I don't remember seeing a fire type in his options kind of things. But he might. And there's a Sycamore. Going to discard a Tapu Lele. Okay. Oh boy. Alright, so how many trainer cards? Okay, he has nothing in his discard pile? Alright, so Righteous Edge for 50 damage. Going to discard the Rainbow. The DCE? Okay. Alrighty. Alright, so we have an option here. So he discards a DCE. He's probably thinking, you know what, there's no way he can attack this turn. But if we find a choice band, we take a knockout this turn. We have two options. Let's see. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's gonna be able to do 100 next turn. So I'm gonna Ultra Ball discard the Acerola and the Float Stone, okay? And I think what I'm gonna grab here is a Lele for a Sycamore. Yep, I think that's what we're gonna do here. I am going to Stretcher the other Garbodor back in our deck. I really don't want to play it down because what I want to find, what I really want to find is a Toxin Garbodor. So we'll put down the Lele. Yes, we'll Wonder Tag. We'll grab a Sycamore. Just going to discard our hand, draw 70 cards. If we find a DC, we can take a knockout. If we find a choice band, we take a knockout as well. And we don't find either. Oh my goodness. Alright, so get the Garbodor down with a Float Stone. But this is very unfortunate for us. We got a Grass Energy active. We'll be able to first impression, but we will not be able to take a knockout. We whiffed the choice band, so I guess discarding the DCE was still okay there, because if he did discard the DCE, if he had discarded the Rainbow Energy, we would have taken a knockout with that Armor Press for 100. Alright, so on our opponent's turn, what does he do here? We still haven't found another Wimpod, which is very unfortunate. There is another Espeon GX coming down, okay. Choice band to the Espeon GX. And a Sycamore, going to discard the hand drawn 70 cards. Now, realistically, he can't really attack with Espeon this turn unless he hits like an Escape Rope or Switch. So there's an Alter the Moon coming down. Ooh, he has 2 less retreat now, so he can actually swing with the Espeon. Alright, so he's going to swing with Espeon here. How many enters is this? He still has no item cards in the discard pile, and he's going to take a knockout here. Oh my, he has no items in the discard pile. That is insane. Alright, so instead of the Garbodor, and all of a sudden we are in a very bad situation. We get a Rainbow Energy, which is not very good, so I'm going to VS Seeker forward in here and get a new hand of 6. We have to find some Wimpods. Oh man. Alright, so there's an Ultra Ball and a Golisopod and a Heavy Ball. Okay. Alright, so who do we leave in the active spot to take a hit? And that is the question here. Alright, so we're Love Ball or Heavy Ball to grab a Wimpod. Okay. So put down the Wimpod. I'm going to Ultra Ball, discard the Guzma and Float Stone to grab another Wimpod. Alright, so we finally found some Wimpods. Man, Brigette does not want to be our friend in any of these games. So put down the Wimpod. And what do we do here? Do we treat to the Garbodor? He's just getting knocked out by Psychic. He does 120 because of weakness. But I think that's what we have to do here. I don't leave a Tapu Lele strand in the axe spot. And I think this is the best play we have right now. So on to our opponent's turn. Things are looking really, really bad for us all of a sudden. Oh my goodness. Alright, so things are getting bad here over in our land. Just not hitting no Pokemon. I mean, we just found a second Wimpod. Yeah, it's just... And my opponent still hasn't put a single trainer card in the discard pile, which is insane. Oh my goodness. But we will see here. I mean, we have a Golisopod next turn. We have a Rainbow Energy. We'll be using First Impression. Psychic can't then knock us out. That's fine. The Psychic's good to go. Okay. So this is a Super Rod. So first trainer card finally coming down from opponent's side of the field. Again, a Garbodor and 2 Lele's into his deck. Okay. Alright, but he's going to take a knockout on Garbodor. He's going to go down to 3. So this is a Field Blower getting rid of both of our Float Stones, which is actually pretty terrible for us. Because now we really... I don't know how we're going to do first impression. And that's all for Float Stones. Uh-oh. That's bad. That's real bad. Alright, so there's a Guzma. Gonna bring up a Wimpod here. Take a knockout this turn. So gonna send the Trubbish. Gonna retreat to the Espeon. What he could have done is maybe have used the Divide GX play. Alright, so we see a Psychic for only 60 actually, so he does not take a knockout here, so we're still alive here, just barely though. Alright, so if we put down this guy, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 180. So he's not taking a knockout next turn, so I'm gonna put a Golisopod down. Okay, so let's see. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so he can't take a knockout. Wait, can he? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so we'll put a Rainbow Energy active, and we are just going to first impression, unfortunately, for only 30 damage. Alright, so on our opponent's turn. Oh boy. Yeah, so unless he plays Kukui here, he can't take a knockout realistically. Can you take a knockout with Garbodor though? There's Sycamore. Okay, let's see here. 3, 4, 5, 9, 10. Yeah, Garbodor can take a knockout if he wants to go that way. Did he finally put more item cards in this card pile? He has 3 in there now. Alright. Still, okay, so Psychic Energy Trubbish. There's a Trash Lunch Garbodor. And he can retreat to free. Go send the Garbodor, and he's going to Trash Lunch for the knockout, going down to 2 prize cards. Uh-oh. Alright, so going down to 2. We'll send up our own Trash Lunch Garbodor. We do have a Rainbow Energy, but we might almost be out of energies. So there's a Garbodor coming down. We'll put a Rainbow Energy in the active, and we will just Trash Lunch here. Going for the knockout, going down to 5 prize cards. We need some draws here, guys. We need something good. Find me something good. There's a Wimpod. That's not what I want to see, because if we put that Wimpod, Espeon can use Divide GX for the knockout. Alright, so there's Ultra Ball. Going to start 2 cards from his hand. This card's an N and a Choice Band, okay. And there's a Garbodor, but man, we just had some rough luck this game. Alright, so there's a I mean, if he's a Guzma Psychic, he can win right now. There's Psychic. Nope. Okay, so nope, no Guzma right now. But man, I mean, I don't know how we can win this. Yeah, it's pretty much game over here. Alright, so I guess our best bet is to send up the Lele and hope. I don't even know what we can draw, really. There's an Ultra Ball. Alright, so Ultra Ball, discard 1 and 2. I mean, yep, that's going to be game. So we'll grab, it doesn't matter, we'll grab Garbodor and we'll just pass here. And there we go. I mean, that was a very unfortunate hand. I mean, so what we learned is if you can't get this deck set up, you're going to be in a bad situation. We couldn't get down our Pokemon, we couldn't get ready to go. And this might be a bad showing of the deck, but game number 1 was fantastic. We saw how the deck worked. This one, not so well. I mean, we prized a Brigette, couldn't get anything set up, and that is how you kind of beat this Golisopod deck. We weren't able to reuse our Acerola and stuff like that, and I mean, yeah, we prized a Brigette. We didn't really draw to Ultra Balls. We didn't really see Tapu Koko. Both games we did not find Brigette at all, but that is sometimes what happens when you play this deck. But we'll see one more game of the deck here in a second. Hopefully we have a Brigette. Hopefully we get set up, and I just hope we have a very better game than the other 2 we have seen. Alright, we'll see what happens. Alright, so when it gets Ray playing a Fighting and a Lightning and a bunch of other different types. We'll go ahead like always. Alright, so we lost the coin flip. So hopefully this game we actually get set up. Hopefully we start Brigette. Hopefully find some, I just hope we've had home. Well, it's better than what it's been. That's all I can say. It's a lot better. We can get a Lele. We can get multiple Pokemon down. And yeah, so we're looking good right now. So we start Wimpod. We got an Ultra Ball, discard 2 in our hand. We can grab a Lele. Hopefully Bridgette's in there. We'll have to check first to make sure Brigette is in the deck. And I see Necrozma sleeves. He's playing Necrozma maybe? I don't know. So there's a Marshadow. Alright, so Marshadow is in the axe spot. Now it does have 150 HP, which is great because we can crossing cut it. We'd actually just use First Impression for the knockout as well. So see an Ultra Ball, going to discard 2 cards from his hands, and let's see, what does Marshadow have to offer for us? Oh baby, there's a Crushing Hammer and a Special Charge. There's a Glaceon. Man, Glaceon is a bad attacker for us to see. Sisophiles, okay. Yeah, it's not a good attacker for us to see. Glaceon has it where it makes it where evolutions cannot hurt it, and all our deck is evolutions. I mean, we do have Tapu Lele, so we do have that. So I guess we can't answer it with the Tapu Lele. But does he find energy? Alright, so there is an energy going to the active. It is a strong energy. And a pass on to our turn. Alright, so we get a Garbodor. So Garbodor could be the key here. I'm going to Ultra Ball, discard an Ultra Ball and a Trash Lunch Garbodor. To grab a, hold on, let's make sure Bridget's in there. Bridget is finally in there, so finally we'll have our good turn 1 that we want to see. So grab the Lele, put that down, use its ability, search for a supporter card. Yes, sirree. Give me that Bridget, and let's find some Pokemon. Finally. Alright, so grab Bridget, we'll play it. And with this Bridget, we'll search for a Wimpod, Trubbish, and a Tapu Koko. Do we put on Tapu Koko or not? I'm going to say it does get hit for weakness. So I will give up a prize card. Alright, so what I'm going to do is grab Wimpod and 2 Trubbishes, okay? So I'll put these guys down. I'm going to free retreat into the Tapu Lele. Put a Grass Energy on it. And just pass it to our opponent's turn. Because what I can do next turn is put a Float Stone on the active. We can retreat. If he swings, we can maybe put a Float Stone on the Trubbish, put down Garbodor, Sycamore as well, and put a DC into swing as well. We kind of shut him down once we get down the Garbodor. He does have Peerless 100 blows. This deck does 50 damage times the amount of basic energy attached to this Pokemon. Beat down for 120. There's a DC and there's an Ultra Ball, so he is going to have that turn 2 Glaceon attack, so our evolutions will not be able to hurt him. And there he goes, discards double Guzmas. Oh boy. Alright, so there's a Lele of his own, and what does this Lele find him? He had double Guzma, so I imagine this is going to find like a Sycamore, or maybe an N. Maybe a Lysander, maybe knock out a Wimpod that way. There's a lot of different things he could do here. So there's an N. Alright, so I'm fine with this N. I mean, our hand is really good, regardless. We have a Float Stone, Garbodor, Sycamore, but we could maybe find another way to swing into this Marshadow, and ugh, rough hand. Potown will come down, okay. There's a Magearna come down as well. Regirock, so he does even more damage now. Calm down there, buddy. There is a Crushing Hammer. It is going to be a heads, and now we'll have to use Lele this turn. Alright, so Flying Flip, doing 20 to everybody. That is amazing. Alright, so there is a Garbodor. So put down the Garbodor. Oh boy. I'm going to Ultra Ball, discard the VS Seeker and Grass to grab a Golisopod. Okay, I know Poton's going to be in effect. I know it's going to take damage on a Pokemon. I know it's going to take another 30. We'll put down the Lele, and with this Lele, we are going to grab an N. There's no way. I mean, we could go for Guzma, but we need more cards for next turn, so we're going to have a Lele here. Okay, so grab a Lele, and if we find a Float Stone, we're going to be looking really good. Alright, so N, do we find a Float Stone or not? And we do find a Float Stone. Okay, so we got a Float Stone, we got another Heavy Ball, and a Guzma. I'm going to Heavy Ball for a, ooh boy, another Garbodor, okay. So I'll put down the Float Stone and Garbodor, put down a Golisopod on this guy. Alright, so what I'm going to do is put a Rainbow Energy on the active. Put down a Garbodor, and I'm just going to pass right now. It's risky. We could use Tapu Cure, but I'm just going to pass right now. He could use Peerless 100 blows. It does 5, 10, 15, okay. Yeah, that could be a thing. Could be a real good thing, actually. So there's a Rainbow Energy on the active. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 120. A Field Blower, no, gets rid of our Float Stone. Okay, alright. So what's he going to use here? What attack is he going to use with this? Alright, so Sycamore going to discard his hand, drawing 70 cards. Okay, how many item cards in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, still not enough for knock. Oh, we don't have any we don't have any Trubbish down anyway. What am I talking about? No Trubbish, no Trubbish. Okay, so what I'm going to do this turn is send the Lele and just Sycamore, hoping to hit a DC and Choice Band. If we find those, we take a knockout, and he really doesn't have an attacker next turn. So there's an Ultra Ball. Okay. There's an Necrozma coming down. Oh, baby, with that Black Ray GX. It cannot take a knockout just yet. We might see... What we might see is another Flying Flip trying to set up for a Black Ray GX. Or maybe he just wants to knock out the active. I wonder what he'll decide to do here. Can he even knock out the active? I mean, you can do Prismatic. No, that's not a knockout. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Alright, so there's a Crystal Ray. Hold on. 100 damage. Did I do the math wrong? 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, baby, there's a Rainbow Energy in her hand. So I'm going to Sycamore here. If we find a DC, we take a knockout. There's a DC. Alright, so put a DC in the active. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, baby, there we go. And we get a Float Stone. Alright, cool. Alright, so there we go. Energy Drive for the knockout. Woo! Alright, and he cannot swing this turn. So I take 2 prize cards. It took us a little while, but we're good to go now. So Sycamore and Garbodor come in our hand. Alright, that was rough. Can he attack this turn? Yeah, he can actually Flying Flip this turn. Well, he has to find another tool, another Field Blower. Does he find one or not? Is Red Drug to Grass? Oh, there's another Field Blower. Stop it. You are crazy. Alright, so he's gonna do that. Okay. There's an Ultra Ball. Does he find an... Oh, so he discards a Rainbow Energy. Very interesting. He could have put a Rainbow Energy... Oh, no, he needs a DC for Flying Flip. So does he find a DC? Alright, so there's a Drampa coming down. Okay, so Drampa GX. And I imagine we'll see a Sycamore here. So Lele, gonna find a Sycamore? Or does he try to go for it in here? Alright, so there's a Sycamore. Going to discard that Drampa. And going to try to go for Righteous Edge. That can work as well. I guess... Yeah, that's fine. Does he find a Rainbow Energy? Alright, so the DC's active, and he'll be able to Flying Flip to everybody. Alrighty, so there we go. Taking another knockout here, but... one thing we have up our sleeve is we can bring up this Regirock. With a Guzma. Hopefully we take a Grass Energy, because that's really what I want to see. So Choice Band to the bench, Marshadow, okay. And we're going to see a Flying Flip to everybody. I imagine that's what we're going to see here. It's a very interesting game. So Flying Flip, everybody, okay? Alrighty, so he's going to take a knockout going down to 4. We're going to set up Golisopod, and we can take a knockout on this bench Regirock, because it does have that weakness. Alright, so there is a Trubbish. We'll put down the Trubbish. We'll put a Rainbow Energy on the Golisopod. We will VS Seeker for a Guzma. And we actually don't have a Guzma in the discard pile. Oh, baby. Oh, man, I just assumed we had a Guzma in the discard pile, but it turns out we do not. Oh, man. So what do we do now? Okay, so what I'm going to do is Hex here. Do we Hex? Yeah, I'm going to Hex right now, because what that does is makes it where he can't attack this turn. So I'm just going to Hex right now and just pass. Okay, so pass to our opponent's turn. Alright, so pass on to our opponent's turn. So he can't really attack this turn, and what we can do is put a DC in the Golisopod, play a Sycamore, trying to find another Float Stone. Maybe it's like a Guzma. I mean, if we find a Float Stone to treat the Golisopod, we could do 150 to knock out the Marshadow. So there we see an Enhanced Terror. Stop it. Use... Oh my goodness, you're a monster, sir. Alright, so we see a DC going to the bench. Alright. There's a Choice Band going to the active. And I imagine we'll see a pass here. But we have another VS Seeker for a Hex Maniac. So on our turn, we get a VS Seeker. So we'll VS Seeker for another Hex Maniac. I think that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to try to set up a Golisopod to knock him out. So put down Garbodor. We'll play a Hex Maniac. Okay. Do we just put the DC on the active? It does open a chance to him to use Team Flare Grunt, which I don't know if he plays. You gotta think with a deck like his, he's probably playing Team Flare Grunt, which is very scary. How many energies on discard pile? We have 3 Rainbow and 2 Grass, okay? So I'm gonna put a Grass into the active and just pass onto our opponent's turn. Alright, does he have another Enhanced Hammer? Team Flare Grunt. Some way to discard the energy off the active. If he does not, we're going to play a Sycamore, trying to go for that Crossing Cut GX to knock him out. Now, if he... Nice. 5, 10, 15... if he has... Oh, there's a strong energy, so he's going to be able to take a knockout here, going down to 2 prize cards. Oh, baby. Yeah, we're going to see a Peerless 100 Blows for the knockout. There's a Crush Hammer Heads. Going to discard the DC off the active. Alright. I wonder why... I mean, you got to think he's just going to go Peerless 100 Blows, unless he's trying to save it for that the attack. And there we see a Wimpod coming down. Alright, so we're going to Sycamore here. Yeah, we're doing a Sycamore, just discard our hand, drawing 70 cards. There's a Stretch and Ultra Ball and Acerola, so we do not have the knockout here. Oh my goodness. Alright, so we'll have to pass into our opponent's turn. Woo! We might see a Flying Flip. There's an energy going to the active, 10 more damage going to that Marshadow. He can't win with the GX attack just yet. My goodness. So Crystal Ray. Alright, for 130 on our turn. We get a Trubbish, okay. So what I'm going to do is Acerola, pick up the Golisopod, send up a Garbodor, put down the Wimpod, and I'm going to Ultra Ball. Look at our deck quick. So I'm going to Ultra Ball discard the Trubbish and a Sycamore, okay. We have 3 energies left, okay? We have two Guzmas in there, my goodness. Alright, so we won't grab anything, we'll press done. And right now we're just gonna pass into our opponent's turn, okay? So we're gonna put him down to 3. He's probably gonna take a knockout, right? We'll probably see a Crystal Ray come down. There's a energy going to the bench, okay? Oh boy, what do we do here, guys? I am so scared right now. He's gonna take a knockout here, so this Crystal Ray for the knockout, okay. Alright, so what do we top deck? Who do we send up? There's a lot of questions I need to figure out right now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. It's all come down to 4 VS Secrets and discard pile again. My goodness. Alright, so who do we send up here? I'm gonna send in the Garbodor. Go big or go home. If we find a Float Stone, we activate the Garbotoxin, we're good to go. So there's a Rainbow Energy, so we'll put down the Golisopod. Okay. We'll put a Rainbow Energy in the Golisopod. I know it can't attack this turn, but I need to draw as few cards as possible. I'll put down the... I'm gonna... Man, who do we put in our hand? Who do we put down the field? 1, 2, 3, okay. Alright. So we could stretch her for Lele. Alright, which I think is... Well, we're gonna have 3 cards left if we do that, though. So I'm gonna put down Koko, and I'm just gonna end here. I'm just gonna end and hope we find another Oh, we don't find one. Oh, we're in trouble now. Oh, goodness. Alright, well, we're in trouble now, guys. Alright, so what do we do here? Well, we whiffed it. I was hoping to hit a Float Stone. He can now take a knockout. I mean, maybe we should have sent the Trash Lunch Garbodor, but man, you gotta risk it to get the biscuit sometimes. Alright, so he gets swing here. Alright, so there's another E-Hammer. My goodness gracious. I don't even know if we can win the game now. Regardless. Alright, so how many VS Seekers in his discard pile? He has no VS Seekers discard pile, okay. I'm gonna send the Lele, or the Koko, okay? So I'm gonna send the Koko. On to our turn. There's our boy Guzma, finally making an appearance. Better late than never, right? Alright, so we're gonna stretch her. Alright, so we need a Guzma first. Has he played any Guzma of his own? He has played 2 Guzmas, okay? So I'm gonna Guzma to bring up the Regirock. Alright. I'm gonna send the Golisopod. Okay, because it's not getting knocked out immediately. Okay. And I'm going to put a DC in the active. And just pass. Okay. So my plan is to hopefully top deck a Grass Energy. We go for Crossing Cut GX. And then maybe find another Guzma to knock out a Marshadow. Alright, it's passing our turn. We get it in. I'm gonna shuffle 3 into our deck. Man, I don't know what to do here. I really don't know. Alright, so right now I'm just gonna pass to our opponent's turn, okay? I think that's the play right now. Is just pass and see what happens. So pass in our turn, okay? We get a Field Blower. We'll pass again. He has 4 cards left. He might be out of energies. He has a bunch of special energies in his discard pile, okay? Pass on our turn, okay? There's a Grass Energy. So look, we have options here. And I think the biggest option I want to do is knock out this Marshadow. Because he can't win automatically. Now the only problem, yeah, so what we're gonna do is put a Grass Energy in the active. Play a Field Blower. Can he win next turn? I don't think so. So I'm gonna Field Blower, get rid of 1 and 2. Okay. Oh boy, if we pass here. So I'm just gonna, man, what I'm scared of is a Drampa. So I'm gonna stretch her to put 3 back in our deck. Okay. I am gonna put a Trubbish, Garbodor and Garbodor, and a Lele. And I'm gonna end here. I mean, we could try to deck him out, but I'm scared that he has a way to. I'm scared he has a way to like be out of it, like to draw out of it. So there's Sycamore, Trubbish, Float Stone. All right. So we'll put down the Trubbish, put a Float Stone on it, and do we go for Crossing Cut GX? I mean, do we go for the Armor Press or not? I don't know. You know what? You know what they say? They say YOLO, so we'll go for Armor Press, okay? Do 200 damage. I mean, this probably was a mistake. We probably should have tried to deck him out. So Stretcher and Flowstone go in our hand, okay. Here comes the Marshadow, okay. I'm gonna draw a card. Actually, he can just win right now. Oh my goodness, 5, 10, 50, 20. He can do 200 damage with the Marshadow. Oh my goodness. Yeah, he can just use his GX attack and win right now. That's very... Wait, does he have enough fighting energy? He actually... Yeah, he has enough fighting energy, so he can just use his GX attack. So Acerola, pick up the other Marsh... Okay. He can just use his GX attack. Does he not know this? Oh, basic energy. Oh, baby. So we're... Okay, Energy Drive for the knockout. So either way, he did have an Acerola, and he eventually would have drawn out of it and would have won the game. So that was not a bad play. That was just one of the... Man, it's just... So the other thing that Golisopod struggles with, besides setting up, is not finding... Is playing against special energy decks. We saw Toward Redcliffe play against an energy... yeah, I think we had to go for that play. I think the misplay we did at the end was finishing that Trubbish because we had no way to drop a Lele to grab a Guzma to make a knockout. Man, it's just very unfortunate we have any Guzmas in that one turn when I was trying to bring up the Red Rock to knock it out. But there we go. There's a Golisopod deck. I mean, we did well game 1, and then game 2, we struggled, not finding setup. And then game 3, I mean, just against any special energy denial deck, we can easily lose. I mean, that game, he played Hand Tammers, he had Drampa, he just had a bunch of ways to do it. He had that one card, we discard 2 cards in your deck to discard energy. It was just a very bad matchup, and that is a problem with these Golisopod deck. But still, it's a very fun deck to play. Maybe I played it wrong, maybe just a couple misplays. If I did, I apologize, but I tried my best. I sent that Garbodor that one turn was very silly of me. I was just like, just risking for a Float Stone. I guess realistically we should have sent the Garbodor with the with nothing on it and just let that get knocked down instead. But I was scared about letting down the act spot. I wouldn't have a way to treat it. So that's what I was really scared of. And then waste our Float Stone on a Garbodor. I don't know. That's probably the biggest misplay, sending that Garbodor with the Float Stone on it. I don't know what I was thinking. I mean, I know what I was thinking. I was like, whatever. We'll risk it. If we find the Float Stone, we are meant to win. If we don't find the Float Stone, then we are going to lose regardless. So there we go. But guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Main Deck Monday. I know I didn't do Golisopod Garbodor justice game 2 and 3. But still, it's a very hard deck to pilot, as you see. It's very interesting and very unique. And it does have a lot of moving pieces, and it's very hard. I think it's hard to pilot, as you see here. But guys, hope you have a great day. Alrighty, bye. Alright guys, I just want to give a quick shout out to our 3 sponsors, 60 Cards, Yeti Gaming, and the Pokemon Company International. Links to everything will be down below in the description. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Alrighty.